Right. Well, there have been many rocky times in the history of Toonami. There was times when Cartoon Network decided that shows like Hamtaro were perfectly all right for Toonami. When they started to think, oh, it doesn't have to be an action show; it just be any anime at all. Let's just throw it on there. Though for the longest time, they managed to at least keep Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon off there. But I'll get to that a little bit later. But major drops in the brand. Getting its name dragged through the mud. It would definitely be when it was a makeshift Kids WB block. It started out decent, got worse and worse and worse, and nobody ever wants to think about it. And then they had other faulty times. I think actually the time before they moved to Saturday nights, that fall of 2003, there wasn't that much that was really good. There was Dragon Ball, and there was the IGPX special. But like you said, there was SD Gundam, and some people like it. But it just didn't seem like they understood anymore what they were going for. So when they moved it to Saturday night, I was like, oh, sweet. More older-oriented shows. Cool. I like this. But then I'd say the key moment when I knew that it was over for Toonami eventually was when they took IGPX off the main block, the show that they helped make.
Yeah.
And at least they put it at a watchable time to finish off, but that's just so symbolic of the end. Because then they started putting in Pokemon, and they put in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and they threw in crap like Bakugan for a week, and Blue Dragon, and they got that new packaging that looked a little bit too much like Maguzi for my tastes.
And they dropped Prince of Tennis and Mare?
Yeah, they momentarily had the Prince of Tennis and Mare and didn't play them very well, and then tried again, and then they just threw them out. And it's downright astonishing how many shows they've just dropped. The only thing that really managed to survive that whole mess was Bobobo, which thankfully it aired all its episodes.
Somehow.
But, and now
that series is so messed up itself.
Yeah. Now they're not even, it doesn't even look like they're going to finish Naruto, and it was so huge. So it really feels like they lost their way around that time, around 2006, late in 2006. And then, like Jacob said, when they finally took off One Piece, I just knew there was no future, at least not a good one.
I should note that the newest Shonen Jump does list episode titles for up to 220 of Naruto, but that doesn't exactly guarantee that Cartoon Network shall commence, or rather continue, airing the show.
Suppose that for me, when the first true sign that I could see, in my opinion, was like Maguzi. That was the first sign for me that something was up. And like a bad game of Bust-A-Move, that was that one move that completely screwed them over, in my opinion.
I like that analogy.
Told you it was a good one.
Yeah.
I actually have Bust-A-Move over here, my new video game.
We should play it.
But it's not Bust-A-Move, it's Bust-A-Move Again. And
Snap.
The one that was like Bust-A-Move Again is like when they're taking off their best shows and just putting in filler and reruns. And then the Thomas the Tank Engine fusion with Tom.
I still don't know how Jason DeMarco says that they like that, but we digress.
It's a fusion gone wrong. They've got the fat guy, they got the skinny guy, and they got the guy that's just not right.
I like the fat guy.
I don't know what was it, Tank?
Well, there was Flash, who was the one that...
No, everybody hated Flash.
Yeah.
Wasn't he voiced by,
David Wittenberg.
That was David Wittenberg?
Yeah,
Holy crap. I thought it was Iruka Sensei's, voice actor, Quentin Flynn.
That might have been.
Yeah, well, we digress, I guess.
Anyways, probably for me, about, like, the true downfall, I know, like, there may be people that will disagree with me, but I honestly think it was when they took it off the weekday lineup and just moved it to weekend only and changed it with Maguzi. But I mean, Maguzi didn't even stay up there long enough. I think it was like only there for at least 6 or 7 months, and it just went off the air because it was stupid because they had shows like Totally Spies, the Teen Titans, it was decent. I thought it was okay. Code Lyoko was crap.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Well, I don't like the new Ninja Turtles. I'm a 1980s
Sigh.
Turtles fan. I don't like anything new Ninja Turtles.
Oh, same here.
Because for example, look at like the live action show. Now, could you honestly think what those people were doing the night is? But I mean, enough of that. But back to the topic of Toonami.
2003 cartoons
Hi, I'm
good.
Saban.
I stand by that.
But back to the thing about like the Toonami. When Maguzi was taken off the air, they could have at least put it back on, but for some reason they just
Could've
kept
done
it
for
with
the-
weekends.
For the anniversary. 17th was a Monday.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
I know, but still, I mean, they could have at least put it back on the weekday thing after the anniversary or whatever. But yeah, and also what Toon Lord said about like the 4th Tom, because they even said in the interview that it took them a year. That is something that you could only make in like a day and a half. I could even think of something like that in a day. But
Done.
I mean, but seriously, it was for me when they took it off the weekday lineup and the whole Tom 4 thing. So, anyways, there were shows that we wish could have stayed, and some that we just wanted to kill with a pitchfork and burn it to hell. So, the next discussion is what shows should have they kept on Toonami and which ones should they have gotten away with.
Toonami had like a lot of really good shows. Like the best were probably, G Gundam and the Dragon Ball shows.
Oh yes.
But I kind of felt like they were playing Dragon Ball a little bit too much. I mean, you can only play that series so many times. Oh man, but I wish they could have showed Outlaw Star a couple more times. That would have been great, and maybe Tenchi a couple more times also. Like Tenchi in Tokyo, one of my favorite Tenchi series. They could have shown that a couple more times, or Sailor Moon. But I really can't remember like any shows that I hated. Probably Totally Spies. I hated that show.
I believe
And that was on Toonami. I can't remember.
Never was on Toonami,
Huh?
thankfully.
Yeah.
Oh, really? It wasn't? I just can't remember because I just remember I hated that show. I just tried to avoid it as much as I could.
Only Maguzi.
I think the reason why Toonami didn't air more Sailor Moon was because
Toonami. Have the years gone by? What do I remember about Toonami that has affected me the most? That still affects me now. Wait, I know! The super action fighting robots that can practically tear apart the Omniverse with their bare fists using super moves like Shining Finger and Final Stage, going against the odds to fight all the gigantic, enormous, galaxy-sized enemy space fleets that dare to defy the heroic nature of a true hero of justice. Such as Voltron Robotech, Beast Wars, Gundam Wing, Zoids, Mobile Suit Gundam, Transformers Armada, Martian Successor Nadesco, Gigantor, Dygard, Cyborg 009. Well, that's not really a giant robot thing, but I do like the cyborgs. IGPX, yes, but that was more of a race thing, but I do recall they did have a micro series in which they fought against each other with gigantic weapons, and he made a quote to the Ninja Turtles. Transformers Energon, and also Transformers Cybertron, G Gundam, and 08th MS Team. Now that's a sign that you don't hear very often. Gundam Seed, and most definitely Megas XLR. And of course the obvious Yu Hakusho DBZ Roni Kenshin Sorte, and .hack. There's also a whole bunch of other ones, but that's another story that would take up more than a minute and a half. So, in closing, Toonami was pretty much awesome. And also, remember Roy from Robotech / Macross 7.